Alright, what's going on YouTube? This is BoxingWave. I'm actually riding out to Philly, so I wanted to take the time to speak on AJ and give you guys an update on how I feel about him fighting Andy Ruiz in a rematch, okay? Now, listen, there's a lot of great boxing YouTube channels out there. Many of them I respect, alright? I listen to what they have to say about the situation, about AJ's trainer, about AJ's health going into that fight, the first fight. You know, why did, you know, everybody's got these theories on why AJ lost the fight, okay? Everybody's bringing up Joey Dawejko again because he recently said something about him thinking he has the skills enough to be world champion, all right? So a lot of people took that and said, oh, well, this is proof. This is proof here that he beat AJ because he says he can at least, he knows for a fact that he's championship level. You know, and everybody ran with that. All right, even though the man didn't come out and clearly say it, they believe that Joey Dawejko is throwing hints out there. Now, I'm not saying that nothing happened. I did see AJ and a mark on his face. All right, these guys were sparring. I mean, there is some evidence out there that you can come up with that conclusion that Joey Dawejko did not come out. Whether or not he has a concussion, that's a different story. You know, maybe AJ was dropped and not knocked out. Okay, maybe he was okay. All right, maybe he was knocked out and concussed. I have no idea. You know, maybe there was a panic attack. All right, or maybe the guy was just nervous fighting in New York for the first time. Who knows? I don't know. And I don't think anyone really knows except his team and the people that surround him. They know. All right? But listen, let me just say that as much as I believe I respect you guys for giving your opinions. You know, when I watch that fight, I see a guy that looked a little nervous before the fight started, but when the bell rung and these guys actually started fighting, Anthony Joshua looked like AJ to me. He looked like himself to me, okay? What I see a guy that was starting out, you know, throwing jabs to the body. You know, I think even in the first round, I think the best punch he might have landed a clean left hook. Nothing big was thrown at that point. You know, Andy Ruiz was trying to counter and throw some combinations. Nothing big. And even in the second round, I think Andy Ruiz was being a little bit more aggressive. But I think the cleanest punch at the end was either a left hook or a right hand by Joshua. I think Joshua was looking fine. He was looking like himself to me. You know, regardless of how you feel and what things he need to work on and tweak and what a new trainer can bring to him. Listen, I think all of those are cool to hear, but when I watched that fight and the bell rung, AJ looked like AJ to me. He looked like AJ to me. You know, I see AJ struggle against other fighters that early. I see him struggle against Dillian White in the second round. I see him struggle against Povetkin as early as the first round and the second round and the third. Okay, I see these things, and you know, as much as I am in shock that AJ lost the fight, I think he lost the fight because he made a mistake in that third round, and that's it. You know, he stepped in, threw an awesome combination. It was a nice, smooth combination, landed flush, and he floored Andy Ruiz. It was nice. It was real nice. Even when Andy Ruiz got up, AJ landed a right cross, flush, okay? But then right after that, he went on to fight like a brawler. And even the commentary said it. The commentary said, look, AJ is ferocious and composed, right? This is what the commentator said as far as AJ stopping people. But that's not what we saw. We saw AJ turn into a brawler and gave away his height and reach advantage to Andy Ruiz. He started fighting like a wild man, okay? And He wasn't connecting. Andy Ruiz connected perfectly. Left hook to the temple. AJ never recovered from that. There's no reason, there's no point to talk about the rest of the fight. AJ never recovered from that shot. He was done. He never recovered. He never recovered. I don't need to speak on the rest of the fight. But what I know is that AJ tried to put a man away without being patient, without keeping his composure. He forgot that he was in the ring with an elite fighter. It doesn't matter if you're the favorite to win and no one expects you to lose to this guy. It doesn't matter, he's a replacement fighter. You forgot who you were in the ring with. You were in the ring with a guy that even has some advantages over you. You forgot that at that very moment, and you paid the price and you lost the fight. Now I understand why people are going crazy. They're coming up with all these theories. Listen, I grew up in a household. My father was a huge boxer fan back then. All right, Mike Tyson was his favorite fighter. And guess what? As a very young kid, I heard all the excuses in the world on why Tyson lost that fight against Buster Douglas. People that's comparing upsets, people saying that this is the biggest upset since then, it might possibly be. But remember, let's remember how the fans reacted to that loss. So I understand all the theories that are coming out. I'm not surprised by it at all. But for me, and you guys may disagree with me, but for me, I think AJ lost that fight because of his mistake he made in the third round and nothing more. That's it. I think he lost the fight because of that third round. Nothing less, nothing more. And I think when Tyson lost, I think it was the same thing. Everybody blamed it on, people said that he gave away the fight, he wanted to lose the fight. People blaming it on Robin Givens, people blaming it on drugs, people blaming it on a million things at that point. You know, you guys know, if you guys are from that time, you understand what I'm saying, man, because I grew up listening to that all my life. The first gold digger I ever knew of was Robin Givens. I didn't even know what a gold digger was until I heard of Robin Givens as a child. So you gotta understand how hardcore Mike Tyson fans were, like my pops. So this doesn't surprise me that everybody's coming out with these theories, and I'm not saying that none of these are true. There's some evidence there. Joey Dawejko, yes. All right, the bruise on AJ's face, yes. His pops lunging at Eddie Hearn at the end of the fight. Okay, I get it. I get why people are coming up with these theories. I understand. But from what I saw in the ring that night, I saw AJ winning the fight. And he made a mistake and paid for it. And I've seen AJ, people that think AJ was tired, he was gassed, he wasn't himself. I've seen AJ struggle in other fights much earlier than that. I mean, legit struggling. I've seen AJ struggle in fights. So this is why I'm not buying all the theories. I'm not saying they're not true, but what I'm saying is how much of an effect did they have on AJ that night? That's the question. Because AJ could have won that fight. AJ could have won that fight regardless of what happened prior to that fight. And would we be talking about all this stuff if AJ had won? No, I don't believe so. So as much of an AJ fan that I am, I like Anthony Joshua. You know, I hope he can bounce back and get his career in order. But all I see is he lost the fight. He lost the fight, and that's it. Bounce back. It's the comeback. It's not the loss. It's the comeback that matters most. I'm more concerned about him coming back. All right, that video I made a few days ago where I was on my way to Philly, okay? My camera overheated in the car, all right? So I couldn't make any more videos. And, you know, I was just listening to the video. And listen, everything I said in that video still stands. Still stands, all right? I think that AJ should have the immediate rematch. All right. I know everyone is really quick to just totally write him off for losing this fight. And this is exactly why fighters don't want to lose ever. They want to stay undefeated, especially more so now because, I mean, no fighter wants to lose. But what I'm saying is every fan will write you off just like that. You know, just like that, we forgot that he beat Povetkin. He beat Dillian White. He beat Klitschko. He beat Joseph Parker. Just like that, people are willing to write you off. So I believe that he should take this rematch. He should fight Andy Ruiz here in New York again. Not because I want to go, but he should fight him here. All right, not in the UK. That's a fight that I feel that he could have won. And I think he has a good chance of winning the rematch. Now, if he loses, I mean, listen, it's a gamble. I'm not going to sit here and act like it's not a gamble. If he loses again, yeah, it could be bad. It could be bad. But, you know, as far as, you know, just like the trainer thing, should he completely fire his trainer? I don't believe so. You know, I think maybe bringing someone additional in the camp would probably help. You know, and maybe if he did change trainers, it might even help and be beneficial. Or it could be, it could actually mess him up more. Who knows, you know? There's a lot of fighters out there that switch trainers all the time, and we see the same result, you know? So I'm not sitting here trying to act like some expert, you know, and there's a lot of guys on here that are trying to be that. I don't know what's best for AJ as far as preparation for this camp. But one thing I will tell you is that maybe he shouldn't have been sparring so soon. Okay. Uh, Maybe he should come to New York and train and be here a lot longer. Spend more time here leading up to the fight. I think that would help. Okay. Don't come a week before. Maybe come 3 weeks before, a month before, and finish your training here so you can adjust to being in New York. Okay, I've seen him spending a lot of time in New York, Miami and stuff like that. Why don't you spend more time here leading up to your actual fight? Okay? I think the pressure, I think a lot of the reasons why AJ lost that fight was mental. Okay? I think physically I think he could have outboxed Andy Ruiz and won a decision. I predicted a decision. You know, I think he could have won his way to a decision, but I think he was so built on trying to oppress the New York crowd. That's part of the reason why he lost. Okay. It could be a whole lot of things. Like I said, it could have been a Joey Dawejko sparring, you know, situation. It could have been, I don't know what it was. I don't know. But what I saw in the ring that night, I saw a guy that could have won that fight based on the first 3 rounds up into that left hook he caught. Okay. So anyway, listen, I don't think any of these heavyweights are good to a point where they beat everyone. I don't think Joshua, Wilder, Fury, Ruiz, I don't think any of them are so good that they can't be beaten by anyone. All right, Ruiz already lost a fight. Joshua has now lost. Fury and Wilder fought to a draw. Okay? Fury, to me, is the most skillful. He's the most crafty fighter up there at heavyweight by far. But this is the same guy that got knocked down twice by Deontay Wilder. All right? I think I'm basically saying that they all have flaws. You have a lot of other good heavyweights still there, like a Dillian White, Luis Ortiz. All right? You have Pulev still up there. You have Povetkin, if he's still fighting, he's still up there. You have a lot of fighters that's up there that can pull off an upset at some point. You have Dillian White. You have other fighters up there. And then you have other fighters that's on the come up. You have Daniel Dubois. You have Joe Joyce. All right. You have F.A. Ajaba. You have Hergovich. You have all of these other fighters. And then you have Usyk that is about to get a title shot. He's going to get his title shot soon. So I don't think any of these fighters, I think all of these fighters still have flaws. I don't think anyone is up there is on a super elite to a point where they can't lose a fight. They all can lose a fight. So if they do lose, whether it's Wilder or whoever is next to lose, maybe Joshua loses again. Maybe Joshua beats Ruiz in a rematch. What if he stops Ruiz but then goes on to lose to Usyk? Who knows? He might lose again. Wilder might lose. Who knows? What if Wilder loses to Ortiz in a rematch? I don't think that's gonna happen, but what if he loses? What if Fury loses to Wilder when they fight? You know, I have no idea what's gonna happen. You know, but I don't think any of these guys are talented to a point where they're never gonna lose. So now that Joshua lost, all right, let him redeem himself. Let him try to redeem himself. If he loses again, then maybe it's time to make some changes. He's still young, so it's not like he's old to a point where he can't make adjustments to his game. All right, or maybe he stays with the trainer and continues to pick up wins from here. I have no idea what's gonna happen. Let's wait and see. But I'm not about just writing all of these fighters off once they take one loss. Like, that's corny. Especially when it's a mistake that could be corrected. A mistake that I feel that could be corrected. All right? Let's not forget, these fighters, I might give Wilder a hard time on here. But one thing I will say about him, Fury, and AJ, you don't win the kind of fights they've won up to this point and still be a bum. I would never call Deontay Wilder a bum. I might sit here and get on him about who he chooses to fight and the WBC and, turning down fights and stuff like that. I might get on him, but I'll never call him a bum. I would never call him a bum on here. All right? The guy has some serious power. You don't knock out Luis Ortiz and 40 other fighters and be a bum. There's no way you can do it. At this point, your luck would have ran out against one of those guys. One or two of those guys he fought were good enough to beat him if he was really a bum. Same with AJ. Same with Tyson Fury. There's no exposure that's going on here. At this point, they made it this far. They're not bums. Okay? I would like to see them all fight each other. It sucks that AJ lost to another guy that's not one of those three guys, but still, he lost to Andy Ruiz. You don't become a bum when you lose to Andy Ruiz, but you beat Klitschko, Povetkin, and Dillian White and Parker. You're not a bum. That's what everyone's calling him now. Wilder loses, he's not a bum. He might not be as great as some of the hype jobs or hype men that he has around him, but you're not a bum. Fury loses. If Fury got knocked out by Wilder in that 12th round, he's not a bum. He's not a bum. He just loses. That's it. Because every great heavyweight lost a fight. Almost every great heavyweight lost a fight. So what are we going to call those guys bums too? Like, no. It's ridiculous. And a lot of them were involved with upsets as well. So we can't just totally write these guys off. You lost a fight. It was crazy. I couldn't believe it. I was shocked. The world was shocked, but we move on, and that's it. All right. So I just needed to give you guys an update on how I felt about AJ Ruiz rematch and everything that comes along with this whole fight. I won't be doing, another one. I mean, I might will, because there's news that come out all the time, but I just felt like I needed to make that clear because, I haven't really made any videos about AJ since the loss, since the week of the loss. And, I've been hearing what everyone's saying. Everyone is still talking about it every week, every day. I see a lot of people pumping out videos, and I'm just like, yo, let's just see the rematch. And that's it. All right. So anyway, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, and see you guys on the next one. Peace.